Okay, guys, so I just probably had one of the coolest experiences of my life doing one of Dr. Joe Dispenza's meditations. My name is Carrie, by the way. And first, I just want to say I might throw a little F bomb here and there, a little curse word might fly out, and that's just my style. That's just how I roll. I also have a dog, and he is on high alert today because Mama been acting crazy up in here. So, if either of those things bug you, I would probably suggest that you just go ahead and move along. Um, yeah, because I would rather not deal with, yeah, anyway, we won't even go there. So, yeah, I've been following Dr. Joe Dispenza's work for the last 2 years. I've been kind of like on the sidelines watching and um, checking out his videos and stuff like that. And I also ordered one of his audiobooks and read through Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, most of it, and enjoyed it. But it was a little, it was a, in my opinion, it was a little hard to digest or put it into practice. And probably because I didn't allow myself to get to those last few chapters. So, anyway, um, so just this past week, I have decided to go all in. I went on this like binge watch, watched a bunch of Joe Dispenza's testimonials on YouTube. I caught one of his like sneak peek 2-hour previews into one of his live events, and he got really deep into how the meditations work, how best to do the meditations, and I realized I actually wasn't doing the meditations that effectively these last couple of years. I do them here and there, not consistently, and mostly laying down before bed. So, yeah, so now I've decided, after watching all these videos, hearing these testimonials, that I'm going to go all in. Now, originally, my intention with these meditations was to attract an amazing career opportunity because I recently decided to jump ship kind of unexpectedly at my job and don't really have anything lined up. That's great. Yeah, that's real smart. I would not suggest that, by the way. For me, I just kept feeling these last few jobs that I've had have just felt really soul sucking. I felt trapped. I felt like there was no freedom, no flexibility. Those 2 weeks I got off per year was basically it. I was also having some physical issues, so I'd have to take some time off, and a lot of times, your boss doesn't really like that when you take too much time off. Sometimes you can get a little pushback there, and I just thought, you know what, I just don't want to be, I want to be my own authority. I want to live my life by my design, on my own terms. And I want to do something that I feel passionate about, purposeful about. And one day, what Dr. Joe Dispenza teaches us to try not to do, which happens a lot, is those fight or flight emotions kind of kicked in. I had just had enough at my job, and I literally just quit. Really great. That was great. And yeah, so his training suggests that you try to overcome those emotions even if your environment is not the best or not what you've pictured or envisioned for yourself in the future. To live that future self daily, to embody that future self, and essentially not to react to those emotions. Now, I am paraphrasing, so I do apologize if there's some diehard Joe Dispenza fans here. And if I'm getting anything off, I do apologize. That's just my interpretation of it. So, anyways, so this week I decided, you know what? I'm going to manifest that damn dream life. I am in my prime, and I'm going to live my dream life. So, I had purchased his meditations on his website. I think it's called Changing Your Beliefs. Sorry if I butchered that or get that wrong. where there's a 12-minute breathing exercise with a little mini, like a 7-minute introduction. And then there's about a 45-minute meditation. And I had done these before, but not consistently, and I had done them laying in bed. I had had a couple of mystical kind of experiences after doing them for a while, but nothing like I recently had last night and today. So, let me just tell you what happened, because this is super amazing and cool. So previously when I'd had the mystical experiences, it was really cool. It was like the tingling sensation all over the body. It was, tingles. I already said that. Just feeling really like connected. And I also saw some really neat like light show, almost like sparklers in this kind of dark, empty, infinite space with like little silver sparkler kind of things going off, like a kaleidoscope of sparklers. It was really cool. Now, let me say this. I've had these neck issues for the last probably 5 to 6 years. And even the smallest little thing can trigger it. And this has not really been, this has been something that's just been ongoing and something that I've kind of learned to live with. But it certainly has it definitely affects the quality of my life. Even the smallest thing can trigger it. I can be looking down, washing dishes. Anytime I'm like looking down like this, it triggers one of these vertebrae here. It pinches one of my nerves. Something happens that's very unpleasant. I went to the chiropractor and they said it looks like some of the padding is a little thin in one of those, between those two of those vertebrae. And so that could be what's happening, is something, nervous is actually getting pinched or something like that. When it does flare up, it causes my shoulders to tense up, and I guess they're trying to protect, that's what the chiropractor said, protect that area. I think it's also probably stress related, but something happens with my shoulders, my neck, and it shoots this like pain up to my head and causes a migraine for like 3 or 4 days. So this is something I've been kind of living with. It's been getting progressively worse, and I've been doing yoga and all kinds of different things to try and alleviate it, but just nothing really seems to work. And anyway, so I started these meditations on Monday. Today is Thursday? Yeah. So Monday I started in the morning. I did the meditation. I tried the breathing meditation where you're breathing from your perineum and you're engaging your core, and you're taking a deep breath all the way up to the top of your head, where your intention is you're trying to get your energy out of those lower centers and up and out of the body. So you're changing your energy. I tried that and I was literally getting the cold sweats, and I have no idea why, other than I was on my cycle, maybe, I don't know. I hadn't really like gone to the restroom or anything and like expressed myself. I know, TMI. But that's all I could think of. I kept trying to do that, and I would just get the cold sweats, and I would feel really like low energy, and like I just was like, oh, I just want to lay down kind of thing. So I was like, maybe I shouldn't do this. So took a little break, went to the restroom, came back, sat my butt down, and I just dove right into the meat and potato meditation. The meditation was pretty normal. I was having a little bit of back pain because sitting in a chair for long periods of time. I also have scoliosis. So usually when I work, I'm either standing at my desk, I have a stand-up desk, or I'm laying on the couch, or I'm lounging in my anti-gravity chair. I can't usually sit in a chair for a long period of time without it starting to affect my neck. Even sometimes short periods of time. I'm amazed I've been sitting here for like however many minutes now. Anyway, 9 minutes, 45 seconds. So, anywhoosies, normal meditation, just trying to get through it. I was like, I'm proud of myself because I sat through the whole thing. It was like 45 minutes long. went through my day, started to notice that I was having neck pain, I think that evening, and that, typically, as it typically does, turned into a migraine. So I was like, damn it. Here we go. So on one of my walks with my dog one evening, I just prayed. I was just so frustrated. I'm like, you know what? Angel of mercy and compassion, please take away this pain from my neck and my head. I just don't want to have this pain anymore. It's affecting my life. When I have these headaches, I can't do anything. I can't look at a screen. And my little business that I just started is all web-based, so I kind of have to look at a screen in order to do that. When you have a migraine, you don't want to look at screens. You don't even look at light. So it's pretty tough. So I just pleaded with the universe, angels, please help me. And then I kind of dropped it. My head hurt into the evening. I did my meditation. It was fine. The next day I got up. I did my meditation, and I had one of those really cool moments where, my mind was kind of I felt like I wasn't really doing it right, where my mind was kind of jumping around to all these different things. It's like, why are unicorns, floating around in the sky? I have no idea why I'm thinking about this stuff. And then I finally was just like, just relax, listen to his voice and just chill out. And then suddenly I felt like this kind of something kind of jolt inside of me. And then I just felt this overwhelming, tingling sensation that went all from my head to my toe. The hair on the back of my neck was standing up. My heart just felt like, it felt so freaking awesome, and tears of joy and gratitude, because I just felt so connected, and it gave me proof that there is more, that there's more than just ourselves, our bodies, that we're connected to something so much bigger and so much greater, and how powerful we really are. And I just was so amazed. I had not had an experience like that before. And I don't know if it was because I was sitting up now in a chair and all that energy was able to kind of run through me properly, or what the fudge, because it was amazing. And anyway, that is not the only experience. The icing on the cake was last night, Wednesday night. I started my meditation. I was doing everything like normal. I had my headache. I was like, I just want my headache to go away. My shoulders were hurting. My neck was hurting. But I almost decided, I was almost like, I'm just going to lay down and do it in my, in my anti-gravity chair. But I was like, no, just do it. As soon as I sat down, I relaxed. I let go of my body. I forgot about my body, kind of went into that trance state where I'm in space. Then there weren't any unicorns flying around this time, and I'm just kidding, there weren't really unicorns. I closed my eyes, and I'm just gonna chill the F out. And so suddenly my neck, I start noticing, well, first I get this jolt again, where it feels like a thud happens on the back of my seat, kind of by my tush keys. It kind of freaked me out because it was nighttime, and I was like, am I having a freaking paranormal experience right now? And I'm home alone, and I'm like, eh. But I just, because of all the testimonials I watched, I realized that there's some shit that can go down. And if I wasn't prepared for this thing that happened, then I probably would have been more freaked out. But luckily, I've been watching his stuff for so long that, and I've heard some pretty amazing stories that seem pretty out there, maybe to someone that isn't familiar with his work. So I was, pretty open. Anyway, finally, I just felt this little pop, and then I just noticed my neck just starts kind of swaying back and forth, like this, and then like a pendulum. And now I'm probably not gonna be able to stop. Just gonna start rocking. And I'm like, ooh, what is that? That's different. I'm not doing that. That's cool. And then all of a sudden my neck just kind of, bends forward all the way down. to where I'm literally like touching, looking straight down, and my neck is just like fully stretched in the back. And I mean, it felt so good. And I was like, oh, and I knew at that moment, I was like, thank you. Oh my God, I'm having one of these like healing experiences. I wasn't even expecting this. But yesterday, or that morning, I'm sorry, during my meditation, I had said, you know, when I was envisioning my amazing, like, you know, wealthy life and like flying on jets with friends and traveling and donating and doing amazing things with all these amazing people, I, you know, just kind of squeezed in there. I was like, can you hook a sister up? My neck and my freaking head is killing me. Can you please just help me there? I mean, any help you can provide is like amazing. And kind of just dropped it. Nothing happened in that moment. But then this is when the rocking. So my head goes all the way down by some unknown, mystical, amazing power. And then suddenly my head comes back up and just like goes into like a neutral position. Then it proceeds to go back. And it goes back and back. And it just keeps going back. And I'm like, holy shit, how far is this thing gonna go? I mean, literally the back of my skull, the back of the skull was like touching the back of my spine. Does that make sense? The upper part of my spine. My neck was bent as far back as I can possibly imagine. I don't think I've ever done that, maybe in my gymnastic days as a kid. But it just was like, holy shit. And it was like, it just kept going. And I'm like, holy crap. So I just had to surrender into it. And I was thinking, like, it's kind of concerning, you know? Like, I'm not a, you know, like, super flexible right now. So basically, I had to sit like that for 1.5 hours. Super great. And I say had to. I was negotiating with, you know, universal life force, higher self, mystical superpower, whatever you want to call it. Like I was negotiating breaks. So I was like, you know, this is kind of like getting uncomfortable. Is there any way I could take like a short little break? And I would like feel a little bit of force, kind of like resistance against my head, but I'd be able to kind of like bring my head up to a neutral position for a minute. And I'd be like, whew, you know, because it was like burning back there. And then it's like, here we go again. And it was almost like a magnet, felt like a magnet on the back of my skull was like attached to another magnet on the top of my spine. It was really wild. It was pretty freaking amazing. And crazy. So yeah, basically last night was me like this for 1.5 hours. And then finally I was like, I need to go to bed, you know. It's like 11:30, I'm tired. I managed to get up, you know, bring my head up and everything and kind of walk into the bathroom, brush my teeth. You know, I'm standing there brushing my teeth and my head's like, you know, trying to do its thing. I go into the bedroom and I'm just like, I'm just gonna sit here on the edge of the bed and like just chill out. And of course the head, you know, it's like, okay, here we go. You know, and I'm still feeling some pain, but not nearly as much as I was previously. And then, you know, the head wants to go back. So it goes back, you know, gets stuck back there for a little while. And then it, you know, eventually I think I was there for another maybe half hour. And then I came up one time for a break and then my head starts wanting to do these circles. You know, and this isn't like aerobics class, like gentle little, you know, nice little circles. Suddenly it's like whole body's doing the circles. Whole body. So I'm like literally like laying on the side, laying on the back, laying on the side, forward. It's like, woo! And we're going like fast. You know, we're starting to move. So there was that, and it felt so good. It felt like there was like a release from, you know, it was uncomfortable back there. It never actually hurt. There was a little bit of discomfort from, you know, being like this for that long. And yeah, and so finally I was just like, I gotta go to bed. And I laid down and I was wired. I could tell that it would have kept going. It would have wanted to keep doing the work. So I woke up this morning and was like, okay, this is really cool because I slept like a baby. I didn't have any pain or headache or anything like that. I woke up and I felt really good, and I was like, oh shit, this is awesome. I woke up, within a couple hours, it was about an hour after waking up, I started feeling a little tense. So I was like, I'm going to do this meditation. Sat down at my computer, which is right by my vision board, which I forgot to mention. When I was doing this thing all night, the first round of that, and I finally came up for a little break, and I looked ahead, and right on my vision board, which is right in front of me where I'm doing these meditations, it said Divine Love. Pretty cool. I'll have to show you some of the pictures. And then I looked over and I saw a woman on my vision board. I saw a woman with her arms open, kind of looking up at the sky with her head back like this. And then another woman on her paddleboard doing a yoga pose where she's bent backwards with her throat released up to the sky. And I thought, these are the synchronicities that Dr. Joe talks about. This is pretty cool stuff. Anyway, so this morning when I woke up, I went into my meditation, and probably 3 minutes in, I was like, here we go. And, the head's moving. This time it felt like there was a weight on the front of my head, and it just went like, whoom. And my head, I was sitting in a chair, slumped over, and I just kind of like went with it. It wasn't like nothing feels forced. I just kind of let go and allowed it to do its thing. And before I knew it, my head was almost touching the ground, and it was like almost trying to scoot my hips off my hips were kind of scooting off the chair. So I thought, well, maybe I should get on the ground. So I get on the ground, and before I know it, I'm in a freaking handstand. Not really, not quite. But I'm like on my knees, my head goes down like literally like that. I put my hands in a triangle over my head, and with my knees on the ground, I'm kind of pushing my body into my head. So I'm getting this really nice stretch along the back of the neck. And needless to say, I have never done these stretches before. Today was really different. So there was several different stretches. I just kind of went with it, and it was like guiding my body into these amazing stretches that felt incredible. I got the nudge to lean up against the wall and kind of do like a handstand thing. So I moved my dog's bed, got out some blankets, straightened my legs with my head down in between my arms, and basically straightened my back up against the wall while I'm upside down. So it was almost like doing this like downward dog kind of thing, and this big release. A little bit of discomfort there, but big release. Little bit of discomfort on the top of the head, but amazing. Today I've had to drink a lot of water. Today's session with the mystical physiotherapist was about 2.5 hours long. I was just like all over the place, hair everywhere, circling around, on my, basically doing like handstands and doing all these like body twists and movements, and it was freaking cool. The dog is just like, you are doing some weird shit today, and I'm kind of freaked out by you. So he's been on high alert. But I'm telling you guys, this work is amazing. After today's session, I went out for a walk. I was still feeling a little bit of a headache, and I was getting a little frustrated, and I was like, nothing's working. It's not going to work for me, doing the whole thing where you start having those limiting beliefs and fear. And I thought, you've had this issue for 6 years. If this takes all day, to get this under control, if this takes, a week, a year, a month, whatever, it's worth it. It's completely worth it. And I just felt so blessed. And I just started thinking, I'm just going to try and walk like the future self that has no pain, that has no neck issues. This is all behind me. This isn't the new Carrie. This is the old, unhappy, Carrie that's always in pain all the time. And I just started like, even though that pain was a little still there, I was just like, I'm not gonna let it get to me. I got home and my hips were kind of like hinging, and I could tell that happened earlier. And when my hips were hinging kind of back and forth, it was usually a sign to sit down. So I would usually sit down, and then it'd be like, I'd be in this like twist movement, where, like a contortionist. No, not quite. But this time it was like, okay, I'm on my butt. Now I feel like I want to get on the ground. So I'm like slithering off the couch onto the ground. It was crazy. I wish you could be a fly on the wall. It was insanity. So then I'm like on the ground, basically laying, and it's just like, I felt the urge to lay on my back. So I just laid there. I just breathed, and I was just so grateful, and all the pain subsided. And this was probably like 2 or 3 hours ago. My neck, my head, all the pain subsided. Now it's like, I feel like it's sort of like there in the background somewhere, but I'm not letting it overcome me. I'm just gonna like let it go. And I know that I have this resource now. I have this connection. I have this like collaboration. What's so amazing that I feel like if I can do this, anyone can do this. And I swear, this man's work needs to be in everyone's home. One of his books, it's incredible. The kind of things, the kind of changes that that are happening in people's lives. And now I'm a testament to that. And I just want to say, I have absolutely no affiliation with Dr. Joe Dispenza. I don't get any like financial kickbacks from saying what I'm saying. I've just been like kind of a fangirl for a while. And so I've been sweating his work for like 2 years, but I've been kind of on the sidelines, and now I'm just jumping in and starting to become more of the master, as he would put it, as opposed to the philosopher. And I'm excited. And I wanted to share this with you because if I can do this, anyone can do this. And you have all the tools you need to change your life and to make it better and to live the life of your dreams right here. I'll keep you guys posted. Shit's getting real up in here. Bye.